Welcome to Center Court with the Lopes, presented by Talking Stick Resort. I'm pleased to be joined by the head coach for GCU men's basketball, Bryce. And Coach, you're currently 17-10, 9-6 in the Western Athletic Conference, sitting a solid 5th in the new resume standings. 3 games to play. How are you feeling now down the stretch?
Well, coming off a big win last weekend. We had ESPN in the building, and that always creates a tremendous atmosphere. So a really fun night, and our guys really played well. Scored 94 points, our best offensive game of the year, and it was fun to be part of.
Yeah, the atmosphere was incredible that evening. But before we get into all of that, kind of talk a little bit about, it's been kind of a bit of, you've had to kind of buckle up kind of tight because coming off a pretty tough loss. A bit of a roller coaster ride, and some guys are taking on a little bit more responsibility, and consistency is something that you obviously want to strive for.
Yeah, definitely. Took a really tough loss earlier in the week, and really tested our character, responding in 48 hours, against a good Abilene Christian team, and really proud of the guys. Again, we came out and, you've seen us play all year, Barry. I think it might have been our best game of the year, from start to finish, again, scoring 94 points. And what I love is we kept a sustained energy for the full 40 minutes, and, especially coming off that tough loss. You always wonder how it's going to go, 2 days later, and just really proud of the effort of the guys.
Well, talk about some of them. Would you? Gabe McLaughlin had 27 in the loss coming into the game the other night against Abilene Christian. But here's a guy, and I know you said post game maybe his best 2 games as a Lope.
I feel in the last few years, Gabe's had some really good games, some great efforts, but back to back where he scored 20 plus, he hasn't done, and it was just great to see his mindset coming in, just to be aggressive, to be assertive, to be dominant, in that paint area. And he played like a different player this week, and that's a Gabe that we won all year. That's a Gabe we won every game, and it just shows how good he can be when he has that mindset.
Ray Harrison, 27 points on the night. He seemed to bounce back and find some rhythm.
We've talked several times, about Ray and what he has to do for our team, right now where we are at this part of the season, and he has to have good games. If he doesn't have a good game, the percentage of us winning goes down significantly. When he plays like he did against Abilene, when he did like he did against New Mexico State, Stephen F. Austin, those are the games that we've been able to be successful in, and so he's a huge part of what we do.
You mentioned post-game as well, some of the growing pains and the bit, you mentioned off the top about buckling up, but you're going through all of that. But it seems like that game maybe and the adversity that you faced 2 games ago, maybe the team turned a corner.
It helped. When you face adversity, it's not fun. It's not fun for me. It's not fun for you. It's not fun for our fans. It's not fun for anybody. Right. But when that freshman becomes a sophomore and he makes that play, or when a young sophomore becomes an old sophomore by the end of the year and he makes those winning plays, those growing pains is what's helped them to get to that point. And, the 2 tough games we lost, one was, we had a freshman not box out. One, we had a sophomore get a layup blocked at the rim. But if you don't learn, then shame on us, shame on our whole program. If you learn and you get better, that's what you're supposed to do. And that's what we enjoyed from Wednesday to Friday, was just that step up that our team took.
Coming up, the countdown is on. 4 games left until the WAC tournament. Women's basketball head coach Molly Miller joins the show next.
The pulse, the beat, the vibe. You have a place to turn it on. Talking Stick Resort.
The future looks good. The future looks good to me. We'll find our way back. We're on the right track, and we don't look back. No. The future looks good.
This is the team working hard over lunch. This is Alex, who's been craving a double meat Whataburger all week, with bacon and cheese, of course. This is Marcus, who wants his usual Cobb salad. Sydney's into a spicy chicken sandwich. Wait. No. A patty melt. This is Rob. He ordered for everyone right from the app. Rob, you're a lifesaver. Make that lunch saver. Whataburger, just like you like it.
I'm accident attorney Sweet James. For over 15 years, my firm and I have helped tens of thousands of accident victims get their life back with almost $1 billion in settlements. It's our mission to share the success with the community. That's why every time we settle a case, we donate meals to feed those in need. Last year alone, we fed over 65,000 people. So, if you're hurt in an accident, call the winning firm that cares. Call Sweet James.
Center Court with the Lopes is presented by Talking Stick Resort and by Cox Business.
Welcome back to Center Court with the Lopes, presented by Talking Stick Resort. Barry Butel now joined by the head coach for GCU women's basketball, Molly Miller. And coach, you're currently 18-7, 10-4 in the Western Athletic Conference, good for third in the resume seeding, and you've won 4 of the last 5. How you feel?
Well, that's a lot of numbers and stats. And now you play like the numbers game, and you look up what the point spread is on the WAC seeding and who plays who left. And but we have taken a step back from that as a group and said one game at a time. These last 4 are so huge, just taking each game and each opponent as they come and not looking too far in advance. So that's where our mindset is. We have kind of a less is more mindset, and the team practices today has been great. I have my smile on my face. You know, it was short but intentful, and they worked hard in 75 minutes. We kind of dubbed a new name for 75 hard. Typically it's one of those, workout diet plans, but we're going 75 minutes, we're going hard, we're seeing what we can get out of our kids, and again, just trying to fix some things in the short term. But right now it's about staying healthy and preparing each game.
You're all right, 2 at home and then 2 on the road. Began with a little bit of a payback the last 2 games in regards to that one loss in the last 5, and that was at Nacogdoches against Stephen F. Austin. And can you talk a little bit about that game? Naughty Evans led all scorers with 25 points, but I'm sure they wanted payback.
Yeah, we had to do a lot with Nadia on the floor. We were 2 starters down. Sydney was out, and then AC was still in protocol. So we asked Nadia to do a lot that game, and she did, but I think we wore down a little bit more than typical when we got some depth to our roster, which the availability was a little bit frustrating, but I do think going into there and kind of getting that experience of playing in a tough environment against a really good team was beneficial for us. They can execute, they're well coached, they're disciplined, they've got the pieces, they are veteran in terms of what they do, they know how to do it well. So just playing against that for us, I think is beneficial as we move forward, and hopefully we have all our roster available for the next time.
Yeah, as that's been something that you've had to battle throughout the course of the season. You did bounce back, and you shot really well there, over 40%. But what a big win! 78-43 over Seattle University. Talk a little bit about that. You had collected a season high 22 steals in the game.
Yeah, we talked about getting back to our pressure defense a little bit more. When you are shorthanded, sometimes you can serve, which we have during the course of the year when we want to put on the pressure, when we want to take it off, when we want to full court press, when we want to get in our half court. We just decided we're going for it. We got AC back, she's fresh. We're going to get in pressure full court, get some turns, get some traps, and fly around. Getting back to that, I think, gave us a little shot of confidence. And then for us, just to continue to build on it, I think pressure defense is going to be number 1. And then hitting shots, like you said, you don't have to scheme too much when you're hitting a good percentage.
You mentioned AC Aaliyah Collins. She combined with Tiara Brown for 9 steals combined, the highest conference this season. You've got to be impressed with her back in the lineup, that part of your game's going to kind of take off.
Yeah, when Tier and AC play so well off of each other because of their defensive mentality and the tempo. I was just talking to Tier, and she's got some instinctual things defensively that she knows because of how we play defense, and AC's starting to come along. She's been in the system longer than AC, so with AC's tool set and then Tierra's kind of functionability in the system, and they kind of work off of each other, and it's been really nice to see that defensive intensity, and they just kind of set the tone on that end.
Up next, after a trip to the NCAA tourney last season and a stacked schedule this year, we sit down with new baseball head coach Greg Wallace.
CAZ Sports Bar is the Valley's home for sports fans. Now, it's also your new home for sports betting, so you can make your picks. Catch all the action. And enjoy everything else you crave. We're your home for sports betting, Arizona. CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona.
This is Sanderson Ford Country.
All roads lead to Sanderson Ford for sales, service, and satisfaction. Follow the road for award-winning customer satisfaction, supporting our community for 67 years and giving back to local charities for a straight-up experience with no hassle, no pressure, no nonsense, and no added markups. Choose Sanderson Ford. All roads lead to Sanderson Ford for sales, service, and satisfaction.
Life can get messy. At Superstar Car Wash, we're here to help. This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a clean car all year long. Get super savings every month when you sign up for a ceramic monthly plan, and pay it forward with a free car wash to give as a gift when you sign up. Keep your car looking super. Visit Superstar Car Wash today.
Welcome back to Center Court, presented by Talking Stick Resort, Barry Butel. Pleased to be joined by the new head coach for GCU baseball, and that is Greg Wallace. Greg, thanks so much for joining us, and is it nice to hear that, head coach?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's still new. I mean, I haven't been here 9 years as an assistant. It's still, every time I hear head coach, I'm kind of like, who are they talking about here? But no, it's starting to set in, so, and it's awesome.
Take us back, if you would, a little bit, because, of course, the news came out that Coach Stankiewicz was going to go over to SC, and then it looked like you were headed to Ohio State at the time. And can you kind of take us through some of what happened behind the scenes?
Yeah, I was actually already out in Columbus, Ohio. I had accepted a job at Ohio State to be the recruiting coordinator over there, and I had my last day at GCU, and an amazing 9 years here. Drove across the country, found out Coach Stankiewicz was leaving about 17 days in, and drove back across the country as quick as I could to get back to GCU. So, and it was great. Ohio State was awesome about it. They knew that actually when I took the job, I said the only thing that if I had a chance to be the head coach at GCU, I would want to come back. And so the guy that hired me understood that. So when everything happened, they were great about it.
You know, you're past a long-time assistant. You played and coached under Dave Serrano. Can you talk a little bit about Coach Serrano? UC Irvine, where you played and you coached, and then you go to Cal State Fullerton, and then to Tennessee. It's so great, I'm sure, to have a guy like that and a mentor to follow. Yeah,
I was really fortunate, especially trying to do what we're trying to do here at Grand Canyon. I think the Irvine model, the Fullerton, I got to see really early on in my career what mid-major that can compete against anybody looks like, and I think that that's what Coach Serrano did for me. Was he allowed me to join his coaching staff, and I had played for him as a player, but I got to get on the other side of that and kind of see how everything worked, from game planning to recruiting, just everything that we were trying to do at Irvine in 2006, 2007, we're trying to do here. So that was a great kind of window into what we're trying to do at GCU as a mid-major program.
What is that, maybe one or two key points that a mid-major can take it to the College World Series? Obviously, players wanted to play for you. Some were in the portal and got out of that portal very quickly after you were named head coach.
Yeah, well, that was a big thing. Obviously, you got to have the personnel. So recruiting is a key thing. You got to be able to identify players that want to come play at Grand Canyon, that can play really anywhere in the country, and we've got some of those right now, just like we had at Irvine, just like we had at Fullerton. So I think recruiting, and then developing a culture that likes the challenge of being kind of the smaller school that wants to go up against the big boys. And so I don't know that we look at ourselves as a smaller school, but I do think we enjoy the challenge of playing against the SEC schools and the Pac-12 opponents and all that.
Jacob Wilson, who's garnering lots of accolades here before the season even starts. You recruited him. Can you talk a little bit about Jacob Wilson?
Yeah, well, I mean, just what Jacob's doing is incredible. Everything's earned that he's done. He kind of came here a bit under the radar, but we felt like he was a really, really good player, and he was going to help us win games. And then what he's evolved into, I don't know that we could have predicted it. We saw some of the makings of it, but just what he's done has been incredible. It's really impressive, and it's fun to watch his journey that he's taken, and he's just checked all the boxes from coming in as a freshman and winning an everyday job and being an all-conference performer, going out having a great summer, coming back as a sophomore and taking it to the next level. I mean, 12 home runs and 7 strikeouts. I don't know that I've seen that in my career where someone hits more home runs than they strike out, and being an all-defensive shortstop and then getting that opportunity to go to the trials at Team USA. Just that would have been cool, being mentioned as one of the top 40 in the country, and he makes the team, and then he's one of the best performers on the team. So he's had to work for everything that he's got, but he is an extremely talented player, and he's fun to watch. Everything, when you watch him day in and day out, the things he can do with the bat in his hand, the things he does at shortstop, you just feel like he's got something a little different, and it's thankful that we've got him, and it's fun to watch every day.
Once again, you followed Coach Stankiewicz and another tough schedule. What goes into that?
Well, we feel like for where we want to go, we want to go to Omaha. We want to win a regional. That we've got to see those teams. For us to win a regional, we're going to have to beat a team like the University of Tennessee, and possibly an opening game matchup or a game 2 matchup. So we've always felt like if that's where we want to go, then we got to see what it looks like and see how our team stacks up against the best. And that's what we was talking about. We're training to beat the best, and so when those situations come up at the end of the year, we're more prepared for them. But it's just always been about challenging ourselves against the best.
Coming up, in his first season, Shannon Hayes led the softball team to a WAC title. How does the team measure up this year? We check in on softball next.
The pulse, the beat, the vibe. You have a place to turn it on. Talking Stick Resort.
When life seems uncertain, there's one credit union that provides both dollars and cents. Copper State Credit Union. With solutions that focus on our members, you can take advantage of competitive rates, free cashback checking, and local attentive service. Uplifting our community is a standard we live by. That's why thousands of your Arizona neighbors rely on us. Strengthening Arizona families through financial empowerment. That's Copper State Credit Union.
It's time for the Talking Stick Resort Play of the Week. Play in style.
The pitch. There it is. Hit to center field. It is gone. Caitlin Dunkel wins it for the Lopes with a 2-run walk-off in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
We take a look at the upcoming schedule for GCU Athletics. The baseball team hosts a couple of heavy hitters this week with Ohio State and Gonzaga Thursday through Saturday. And softball hosts the Purple Classic this weekend as Utah State, Montana, and South Dakota come to town. After coming off their first WAC title last season and preseason favorites to repeat, all eyes are on GCU softball.
And let's hear it for the Lopes, making their first appearance out of the WAC. Green Canyon in the NCAA softball tournament.
Well, I think this year, if I could foresee the future, we won't steal as many bases as we did last year. I felt our team speed was excellent last year, and you try to use the weapons that you have. And Gianna Nicoletti was a great weapon, 51 bases, which is incredible. You know, she broke the school stolen base record by 25 stolen bases. And we won't have that, but we've added Ramsey Lopes, a transfer from New Mexico State that had 18 home runs there the last year. She's known as one of the top power hitters in the country. She saw how we did things last year at our program and wanted to come here, and that was big because she had some top Power 5 schools wanting her.
Here, I think that we have like a lot of potential. Like last year, obviously, they're in my conference, and we played them a lot, and they were just like a really talented team, and I was kind of blown away by like how well they seemed to gel together, even though most of the team was transfers at the time. And that's also what I like about the team, is that like when I came in, there's a lot of other transfers here too. They're just like really welcoming to everybody. Like I didn't feel left out. I just feel kind of like, oh, it was like a good team.
We added Madison Schaefer, a student athlete I've known for the past 3 or 4 years when I was at Oklahoma Christian. That was just a phenomenal player and a great pickup for us. You know, she's 6 foot, 6'1", athletic at third, has great range, but a really mature hitter who will definitely add power to our lineup.
When I got into the portal, Coach Hayes was the first coach to even reach out to me because he previously coached at Oklahoma Christian, and so we played against each other a lot, and so he knew me from that school. So as soon as he saw me in the portal, he contacted me. He got me on a visit about 2 days later and just instantly fell in love. And then they had a good NBA program, so that was something I looked into. And then overall, just the feel of the school when I stepped on campus, it just felt like home to me.
I think the WAC's going to be really good, much improved over last year. We're looking forward to the challenge, and obviously it relies a lot on our pitching, and we're counting so much on Ariel and her leadership in the circle. Last year, she did such a great job getting us into the tournament, and when we went into the tournament, you know, she physically wasn't at her best just because she'd thrown so much. So we feel like we've developed our pitching staff over this past year and had some great additions there. Haley Hudson was a great addition for us, a great recruit for us. Emily Darwin, Taryn Batterton, those kids coming in to help bolster our pitching. Hopefully you'll see an improvement there.
Runner goes, the throw to second base and out by plenty. Wonderful throw from Kelso.
We see her as one of the top defensive catchers in the whole country. I mean, if you can run on her, then you've done something. When you have her behind the plate and the leadership that everybody draws from her, you know, she's the full package for us.
I'm really excited to see our pitching staff work together as a team. They really complement one another with different stuff. We're in the bullpen working constantly, just demanding the zone, working hard, and having just a confidence that outshines other teams.
Just toning up my pitches, honestly. Less focus on like velo and just really focusing on hitting spots, making my pitches move even better than last year. I know the talent that we have, and I'm so excited to see what this team has to do. I think we're going to top last year. I believe in that with my whole heart, and so I'm just pumped to go even further.
Her and Kinsey Kelso, that battery, that's the spine of our team, as well as KK Dunkel and Macy Barnes up the middle, and Hannah Burnett, who will be in center field for us this year. Kristen Fifield, those returners are huge for us, and their leadership and their experience will be counted on greatly, and just feel very fortunate to have that kind of leadership and talent back.
Up next, RG3, Tracy McGrady and Frankie Muniz. It was a star-studded event on GCU campus for Super Bowl weekend.
CAZ Sports Bar is the Valley's home for sports fans. Now, it's also your new home for sports betting, so you can make your picks, catch all the action, and enjoy everything else you crave. We're your home for sports betting, Arizona. CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona.
It's hot.
Fresh grilled. That's hot. Mesquite Fresh Street Mex, where authentic meets modern. Visit us today at one of our valley-wide locations.
And as we take a look at the upcoming schedule brought to you by Cox Business, 3 games remain for the Lopes. The final home game of the season is this Friday against Seattle University. Come on out to GCU Arena for your last chance of the season to experience the biggest party in college basketball. Then the Lopes hit the road for their final 2. First to Southern Utah on March 1st, and then to Utah Tech on March 3rd. There was a buzz around Phoenix recently, and it made its way to the GCU campus. The Celebrity Sweat Flag Football Tournament was held at the GCU Soccer Stadium. Student reporter Chelsea Mendelson was there to cover all the action.
It's Super Bowl weekend here in Phoenix, and the day before the big game, there's a smaller one here at GCU Stadium. It's the Celebrity Flag Football game. Let's go take a look.
Celebrity Sweat putting on this game to benefit military organizations and youth groups has just been phenomenal. I'm a military kid myself, so all the work that they put in to sacrifice for us to live the lives that we live is very important. GCU's been amazing. This actually is my first time to GCU, so GCU, are you with me? Yes, you are. Appreciate you.
I love it. Look at the support out here you got from the fans right now. The student body out here. It's dope.
My son, who's in the 11th grade, and then I have another son that's in the 8th grade. I wouldn't mind them coming to this place. It is phenomenal. I mean, the people around here are great, but the campus is beautiful.
I love GCU. I love going to the basketball games. The atmosphere you guys have, this campus is beautiful. And so anytime I can come out and actually be on the field in front of the GCU fans, this is pretty cool because I'm usually in the stands.
To be able to showcase the city of Phoenix and the state of Arizona using Grand Canyon University to showcase it, that's what's really important.